Question number 6, we start getting into conjugate. Now, the first part of this question is, what is a conjugate? Well, for the conjugate, we're just going to take the denominator and we're just going to flip this sign. Just this sign. We're not going to flip the sign in the front. We only want to flip the sign here in the middle. Why? Because we're going off of this concept right here. A plus b, a minus b equals a squared minus b squared. This look familiar? This is the difference of squares formula. Started with this, and then you said square root of a squared is a, square root of b squared is b. So this is what we're trying to do right here. We're trying to make this. So looking at this, the conjugate, we're just going to flip the sign. It's going to be 3 minus square root of 2. Only thing that has changed is that this plus is now a minus. Never change the sign in the front. Okay, that's not what we're doing. We're only flipping this sign here in the middle. Now, the rule with fractions is what I do to the bottom, I also have to do to the top. So we're on to step number 2. We're multiplying the conjugate to both the top and the bottom. For the top, it doesn't really matter because we got 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2. That's not going to change. But for the bottom right now, our goal is to get rid of this radical. When we multiply the conjugate, it's going to get rid of the radical, and you're about to see that happen. So for the first term, we're multiplying 3 and 3 to get this a squared, so that's going to be 9. Copy the minus sign. You're always going to end up with a minus sign because it's a minus b squared. And for the second term, that b squared, it's going to end up being, well, square root of 2 times the square root of 2. Essentially what happens is the square roots end up canceling out. You're going to copy that number in the inside of the radical. Essentially every time that we do this, you have 2 radicals like that, you're going to end up just copying the number on the inside and removing the radical. Which leads us to the last step, where we're just going to take the bottom and simplify. We're going to do 9 minus 2. So for my final answer, we're just going to copy 3 minus square root of 2 on the top. And then on the bottom, we got 9 minus 2, which ends up equaling 7. And there is my final answer.